The fourth reification that happens in this project is claiming that our concepts, our rationality, will actually pick out natural kinds in the world. That is, that our science will carve nature at its joints. These forms of reification may endanger the validity of the cognitive psychology model of human nature, but there are very convincing reasons why they are misplaced worries. First of all, evolution, though it is not a complete theory yet, has considerable success in explaining the origins and structure of biological phenomena. Of course, to use evolutionary theory on the mind is a tricky process since it entails that the mind, I had some poem here, but I'm going to skip it. You're not a poetry crowd, I don't know. Is entirely grounded in material phenomena. Probably forgot the beginning of that sentence, but we're going to keep going. Yet to the best of our knowledge, this seems to be correct. That is, that evolution can trace the origins of biological phenomena. So that's the first one. Second one, the mechanical and computational models are another worry. But many in the field of psychology today are going beyond computational models or are expanding their models to include a number of non-computational processes. The real challenge here is to find ways to model fundamental processes that we ourselves are not familiar with. This is what the whole field of philosophy of mind is about. How does the mind work, and how can we model it in a way in which we don't have to bend it into the way we understand things? That is, it might not be a computational or mechanical model. It might be something else, and how can we understand that? In regards to the reification of science, science as a new religion, I believe that it is the job of philosophers of science to delineate exactly which questions do and do not fall under the purview of science. Some questions cannot be understood through the scientific method, for example, ethics and aesthetics. If we can understand what is in the realm of science and what is not, we will not make the mistake of reifying science. It will be seen as one significant path towards knowledge rather than the only path towards knowledge. As to the final worry about reason, rationality, I can only say that once we understand the limitations of our rationality, we must trust them within those bounds. Even if the fruits of rationality prove to be fundamentally incapable of representing or comprehending the world, we are tied to it, and a life lived in distrust of the basic capacities of the human mind is a life of nihilism and moral decay. Furthermore, the findings of reason will apply to reason and the human mind regardless of the veridicality of its conclusions. So whether or not the mind can represent reality, it is all we have to interface with the world, so it will have to do, if not on the deep ontological level, which may remain a transcendent and ephemeral absolute, then on a pragmatic day-to-day level. Another thing we can learn from past human nature projects is that the individuals and groups who are putting forth the definition of human nature must not be from solely one sector of society. The topic of human nature has remained verboten for many years due to the grave injustices carried out in its name, most recently in the early 20th century. My response to this worry is, the biological empirical evidence should be beyond